Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Her Talk Show. My name is Sabrina Victoria, and I am here with Annette Mashi. We are talking all about repurposing your content in order to reveal your magic. Oh my gosh, so excited about this. Listen, ladies, love that you're here. I love that you're live. Get comfortable as we explore the triumphs and the challenges faced by women worldwide. We're going to be offering some insights, some inspiration to fuel not only your personal, but also your professional growth. Let's jump in. All right. If you're listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. So we're here every day delving deep into the realms of health, wealth, and leadership with some of the most brilliant women globally. And we are adding another one to the list. We have Annette Mashi here today. She creates magic with words. She gives visibility to female architects, interior designers, and women in the construction industry. Oh, I love that. She positions them as experts, demonstrates the value they provide, and helps them stand out from their competition so they attract clients they love and win their dream clients. Let's go. I think sometimes we need to be reminded that there's so many individuals that we really should have in our business helping us.
For sure. You can't run your business by yourself. And anybody who thinks they can, they're burning themselves out.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is definitely a part of business that I didn't realize individuals did. I realized, oh yeah, help with an admin, help with an assistant, help with maybe emails, but it never occurred to me until I was actually in business for a while that there was actually people that specialized in helping you write your website, your content, your newsletters. Because although we know our businesses, to be able to put that into context and put that into words isn't necessarily something that we're good at.
Right. And you want to stay doing the things that you're good at. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best use of your time. Even if you like to write, it doesn't mean that that's the best use of your time.
Absolutely.
So sending that to somebody else, they could be doing the writing, they'll do it better than you, and then you can focus on doing something else in your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the first thing that I want to talk about, which I have only been doing for maybe a year and a half, is repurposing content. And I don't know that there's a lot of people that know you can do this. They kind of hear it and they're like, oh, yeah, but they don't really conceptualize. And I love Annette because she has really gotten this down to a science on how you can take one piece and make it many. I'd love for you to just kind of expand on this, what you yourself recommend and what you've done with previous or current clients to help them repurpose what they have, what they're building already.
Sure. Yeah, I love repurposing content. Why reinvent the wheel? It doesn't make any sense. And it takes a lot of energy in order to do that. So yeah, I always start with the bigger piece of content, the bigger, in other words, I had an architect and he was redoing his house and he was talking about all of the things that he needed to do in order to make his house more energy efficient. So that's a big piece of content. He is talking about the windows and he's talking about getting a better air conditioning unit. And he's talking about all these different things that he can do, solar panels on the roof, all these different things that you can do in order to make your house more energy efficient. Well, that's one big piece of content. That's a blog that he can put on his website. Then you take that and each one of those, talking about your windows, talking about the windows, then become a separate article that you can send to your list, to your email list.
Yeah.
So you're saying, hey, if you have a problem in your window, your home's really drafty, maybe you need new windows.
Absolutely.
And so you're taking each one of those different items, go from the bigger piece, the blog, to become the newsletter, which you send out on a regular basis. And then that can become a LinkedIn post. Maybe you're just talking about one little piece of a specific window. So that can become a LinkedIn post or a social media post. And so you're breaking down the content from that big piece into smaller pieces. And you have the same voice, the same tone, the same information. So it's aligned across multiple platforms.
Love that. Love that. So, and this is one thing that I advocate for also is I run a digital magazine called Her Nation Magazine. We cover health, wealth, and leadership amongst women business owners. And so, yes, women are writing longer pieces.
Mhm.
So what Annette is saying, when you're writing for some sort of publication, or it could be your own blog,
Right.
right? Taking that longer piece of publication or article, I guess, and then turning it into a shorter newsletter that you would be emailing to your customers, and
Mhm.
that shorter newsletter, and then making it an actual post. Now, I have a question,
Mhm.
and this is more so for me because I don't even know the answer to this question. When should we stagger this? So you're saying write a blog post. You're talking about windows, doors, insulation.
Solar panels, yeah.
Should the newsletter, since you just wrote the blog about the windows is in there, and then that just got publicized. Should you also send out that newsletter about windows at the same time, and then should you also write the LinkedIn about the windows at the same time, or should it be staggered? What's your opinion on that?
It could be either way. And in other words, because people are going to see you on different platforms.
Yeah.
So let's say I come to LinkedIn, right? I don't necessarily know you. I'm not on your email list. I don't get your newsletters. I come to LinkedIn. I see your post about Windows.
Yeah.
And the post about Windows can connect to me. There can be a link in that post that can connect me to the blog that exists, pointing somebody to the website. So you're driving traffic to your website, because that's like where you're going to be selling stuff. So you want to always drive traffic to your website. Same thing, if somebody's on your email list and you send an email about the windows, you can, in that email, you can connect them to your website with the link to the longer blog.
Got it.
So you're driving them. You never know when somebody's going to see it, and you can repurpose it 3 months later because as a social post, because people don't remember what you posted 3 months ago. They barely remember what they had for breakfast.
To go along with that, it's so funny. I schedule out my posts, and there's times when I'm going through my own social or through social, just through the feed, right? And I'll catch something, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's good," and then I'll realize I wrote it, but I wrote it a few weeks ago because I had scheduled it out. So I'm like almost like inspiring myself. So to get back to it, I wrote it and posted it, and I forgot that I wrote it.
Sure.
So if that's happening to me, then yeah, people obviously it's happening.
People are thinking about themselves and not necessarily thinking about what you're posting, and they don't remember.
Yeah.
And like for sure, even my post that's going out on LinkedIn today, I posted a year ago because I made there's special type of challah that we make the Saturday after the holiday of Passover. It's in the shape of a key for abundance and everything. And I know that last year I posted something about it. So I went back to my posts of what I posted last year and then said, I did use this year's picture though. I mean, I didn't use last year's picture. I did make a different challah, but just to see what I had posted last year and what I could post this year and could I take anything from there? So definitely keep track of what you're posting, have a database of some sort of content library, and then reuse it. Reuse even podcasts. If you're on Parents and on a podcast, you can definitely take snippets, and that can be turned into either the video content or right, like what you're doing, the video content and things like that, or they could be, written content as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking to someone. I went to an event this weekend, actually. Friday, Saturday was a long weekend this weekend. And I was just talking to somebody about that as far as what I do with my graphics that I post. So I have a graphic with like a little saying on it or something. And then there's copy that goes along with that graphic. And then I was telling her to make my video. She was like, "How do you make your videos? Like your talking head videos?" I'm like, "All I do is I just read the from the graphic. I just read it's in my voice. It's in my voice. It's the exact way that I talk. So I literally just take it, put it in a teleprompter in my phone and read it right off and then post that, later on in the day or the next day.
Yeah, people work so hard. They work so hard, and they're stressed. People are stressed. What should I post? What should I post? I don't have any ideas. What should I post? And there's so many places that you can pull ideas from, and reuse those same ideas.
Yeah, and I think a lot of my ease has come from I have learned to save my stuff. So like there's times when I write something, not to sound like I'm all, but there's times when I write something, I'm like, that's fucking good.
Yeah.
That is a good post. That is a good article. That is a good whatever it is. But I used to just relay like just let it ride for as long, right? So you post it and it rides for maybe 2 weeks, right? You can kind of just recomment and it'll pull it back up and then it gets old and then it just leaves. So what I have started doing over the last year or so is taking those ones that I just love where I'm like, that's a good piece. And then I keep it. I have a whole area in my notes section where I have all of my really good posts, and then I can repost it exactly, maybe just fix a couple things, or I can pull from it to make shorter or longer content. So love that.
Right. Like even when I talk about like what I offer, or how I work with clients, that information doesn't change.
Exactly.
That can be copied and pasted with a different heading and a different hook and different information, and then just retake that and tell them what it's like to work with me, and how that works, or what they get when they work with me, and things like that.
Yes.
It's the same.
I'd like to talk a little bit about, especially now with ChatGPT, girl. Oh, I would love for you to talk about the importance of our ladies staying consistent with their voice and their tone, even in writing. This isn't always what Annette and I are doing here,
right?
Even in writing. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when I'm writing, like when I'm writing for a client, so I'm pulling the information based on a conversation that I have with the client. So there's a transcript that's there. So I'm using the transcript, and I'm going in and I'm saying, okay, based on this transcript, what does the person say, and how can I create a blog from that transcript? Yeah. So that's what from that end. And then I'll go back in and say, does that sound like her? Is that her words? That doesn't sound like the person that I talked to. That doesn't sound like something Caitlin would say. What would she say? So it's really important to kind of know your language and your tone, but you also want to know the tone of the people that you're writing for. What do they want? What do they need? What are their desires? Like I was looking at a website this morning. They talk, I believe this, and I do this, and I do that. Nobody cares what you do. They care what you do for them. Yeah. And so it always has to come from, what are the results that you're giving to your clients? What are the words your clients are using about the results? They're, like nobody's going to say, oh, I'm talking about nutrition. Nobody wants content, first of all. Like I'm not selling content.
Totally.
I'm selling clients that you're getting when your content resonates, when your value is shown. That's what I'm selling, that confidence that they're not writing it themselves. So there's things that I'm writing for them, but the AI it has to sound like you. Yeah. And you can see when it doesn't sound like you, and the words are, maybe the words are too large. Maybe the words don't sound funny. It's something, read it out loud. If it's something you would never say, don't say it.
Absolutely. I feel like to Annette's point, many times we create something on AI and then just post it. And what Annette is saying, you have to reread it.
Yeah. Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out. Yeah. You have to look at it.
And make sure you have to work with it a little bit. So yes. Oh, AI is so great and it saves us so much time, but don't let it save you so much time that it's a detriment to like your brand, because people are reading it and they're just like, this is not how this person talks. Right. So, if you are using AI to write your content or to rewrite it, I hope not write it, then, make sure you're going back in and take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time, read it and reread it and pull out sentences. You can pull out whole sentences, words. You could, you see a word, find another word that you would use in conjunction to that word. that's like in
Yeah.
your language, in your vocabulary, because your people know how you speak.
Yeah. And I do, I mean, I'm using it. I'm a content writer. I'm using it
Yeah.
I'm using it all the time.
Yeah.
Finish the sentence, or what word goes, or don't use the word magic 3 times in a row. Like, what are my other options that I can use? What other words would I use? If I say awesome, write awesome. If I say, magical, write magical. But use the words that I'm using, use the words that my clients know that I'm using, and don't use words and don't use that M dash. I mean, everything dashes in between. Like, get rid of the M dash, put a comma in, and things like that. I mean, you can use it to brainstorm ideas. Like, give me ideas for posts. You can use it to rewrite the testimonial. Sometimes I'll take text that people put in like their own website. I'll take the text and say, make this customer facing.
Got it.
Take the text, make it customer facing, and make it, instead of like, I believe this and I do this and I do this, make it so what the customer gets. You get this, you get that, you enjoy this, and use emotions. A lot of times we're talking about emotions as well.
Yeah. Speaking of emotions, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about storytelling. I know that you know that it's really important, with long form and short form, to make sure that you're using memorable stories. I think that's something that a lot of people are leaving out. What's your thoughts on that?
That people remember stories. They remember stories. You remember stories. Once upon a time. I mean, think about when you were a kid. I remember my daughter's like, please read me Goodnight Moon one more time. I'm like, oh my God, really? But people remember stories, and it sticks in your mind. And so using the stories to help you illustrate a point is really important. We'll talk about when you're talking with your clients and they're coming in to see you, you use analogies like a doctor. You're the doctor analyzing their problem, and you're going to help them solve their problem. And this is what you need to do. So analyze that. Or like, I'll talk about a story. I had a friend from college that she, when I would call her and she would say, oh, it's about time you called. And I thought, wow, that's really awful. Like, who wants that kind of reception when you're on the phone with somebody? I don't want that. So I make sure that I stay in touch with my audience on a regular basis, consistently, so that they don't get that same feeling that I got every time I call my girlfriend Lisa. Because it's about time you called. It's about time you emailed me. Because, I don't want that. These are things like it's a good story, but to this day, and I'm telling you, this is somebody I met in college. And when was that? Like 1983.
Yeah.
I mean,
the follow up.
The follow-up, the memorable, to be there, to be consistent, to offer your services, to help people. All of those things are really important in business. But the storytelling, it's a story that I remember.
Yeah, definitely important. Can stories be used to differentiate yourself from people that do or sell similar products to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's what makes me different than other people. In other words, I'm like, my story is I got a degree in computer programming. While I was studying computers, I'm like, what am I going to do with computers? I don't know what to do with computers. It was 1981. Who knew, right? What computers would do and how you could interact. I said, I'm a people person. Guy that lived next door to me said, hey, why don't you try architecture? I said, okay, what the hell? Let's try architecture. Well, it's logical. It's creative. And I thought, well, that speaks to me, the logic of like designing spaces and creativity. That speaks to me. So I'm going to go into architecture. And so I did. But then I couldn't figure out how to sell my ideas. I'm like, now I graduated, I have this degree. How am I going to sell my ideas? So I said, okay, well, I don't know how to sell my ideas. So I'm going to stay in the computer realm. I'm going to stay teaching computers. But now, like years later, I said, wow, I can write for architects. I can use the ability to write. I could write for architects. My unique selling point is because I have an architectural degree. I came from that design background. I understand the building industry. And so I can use that story of the past, bring it to the future, and then talk about why I'm different than maybe any other copywriter out there.
Yeah, as far as to go along with that, standing out from the competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the biggest things that I see when I talk to entrepreneurs is they're saying the same stuff. So to go along with what Annette is saying, our stories is one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves because our no one's
Mhm.
story is the same. Um, what are some other things? What are, one or two other key things that an entrepreneur can do to really stand out or differentiate themselves from other people that are doing what they do? Do you have like a one or two tip for them?
So the method that you're doing it,
Yeah.
the process that you're using is different because you're going to be helping somebody in a different way than somebody else is helping them. And you can name that process. Definitely name the process, whatever you want to call it. Reveal your magic. Like I call mine, reveal your magic, or I call my story capture sessions. So I'm naming what it is. It's different than anybody else out there. And so, or the strategy blueprints. So I'm giving names to things, saying that I do things a little differently than other people, and you're standing out. So definitely naming it and creating the way you do it. And your story is your background. Why
Yeah.
are you doing what you're doing? That why is definitely a differentiating factor.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely making sure that the framework, whatever you're working with, the steps that you
Mhm,
take a client through, putting a name to that, putting
mhm.
steps to that, so that when you're speaking to a client, you can easily say, "Hey, these are the things, these are the steps, these are the ways that make me different than this person." Um,
Right.
love that. Great, great, great feedback on that.
Yeah.
Fear.
There.
Fear
We're
of
all afraid.
writing, fear of getting out there. How do you deal with that? Because I know you do this for other clients. So how do
For
you
myself.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
For
saying.
myself.
So let's stick to you and your story. So how do you or how have you gotten over fear? Because everyone has fear, at least in the beginning.
Mhm.
How have you stepped out of fear and just started writing, just started posting, just started getting out there? What have you done?
So you have to remember it's only a post.
Mm,
It's only an email. You are not doing brain surgery. You're just putting some words on a page. And people will probably forget what you wrote the next day. So it's keeping up with the consistency, being consistent, staying in top, with your audience on a regular basis, making a commitment to yourself that I'm going to show up. Even if I'm afraid, I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it. I can be visible. And just moving forward and not trying to be perfect, because done is better than perfect. You're never going to be ready. Like I could rewrite blogs over and over and over for myself, for my clients, over and over and over, playing with words, especially with AI. Write this again, write this again. Maybe this word works better. At some point, you just have to like bless and release. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
exactly. Exactly. That's good, that's good. I think it takes time, it takes time for us to really sit in the feeling of it's just a post.
Mhm.
Some of us do feel like we are creating, a post for Vogue or something, or Better Homes and Gardens in your case, where it's gonna be, like, showcased for the world to see, and it's just a post, ladies.
It's just a post. You're not writing War and Peace.
Yeah. And a lot of it is also, and I was just speaking about this in my stories, we have some of us have thousands of people, like thousands of followers. And we think for some reason that like Facebook, for instance, is showing our one post to every single person. And they're
You
not.
wish. You
Yeah,
wish.
they're sending it to like 100, to like 100. Really. That's it.
Yeah.
100, maybe 200, maybe 300 if it catches an algorithm a little bit. But not very many people are really seeing it, and then for those that are seeing it, who is reading it?
Mhm.
It's not that many. So just keep pumping out content. Those that are supposed to see it will see it. Those that resonate with it will read it, and those that are meant to reach out will eventually reach out. But to Annette's point, you have to, that was the key word she said, you have to stay consistent.
Yeah, you have to stay consistent and think about like when I'm talking about blogs, like when I'm working with my clients and I'm talking about blogs, how I'm taking one blog, writing the blog, how can that blog connect with another blog? And how can that blog connect with another blog? Because the way you're creating that content library and your blogs are interconnecting, you're keeping somebody on your website longer. They're learning about you. They're understanding how you work, how you think, what you do. They're beginning to trust you, and then they'll hire you. So it's connecting everything together
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. I'd love for you to share a little bit as far as maybe different types of content. I know we covered blog, newsletter, LinkedIn, briefly covered videos. Any other genre as far as like what type of posts? Are there different types of posts? Is it always just supposed to be about your business?
No, personal. People love personal. I posted about my nephew's wedding. It got so many views and shares. People shared it. It's my nephew's. Who's sharing my nephew's wedding post? I have no idea.
Wow,
I mean,
wow.
I could go and check. Yeah, but a lot of people like it resonated with people, and they sent it to, and they shared it. I mean, it wasn't even family members. I mean, I could see if it was family members sharing, but it was very strange. So yeah, personal stories, personal information, like we talked about, the personal stories is really good. To something personal. I mean, I'm not saying to share. You can share being vulnerable, but it has to be. It doesn't have to be anything. But like I'm thinking, not something that's going to destroy your business. Like vulnerable, like I have no clients and things are awful and things like that. You
Yeah,
don't necessarily want to share, but you can share that times are tough and people are thinking twice about what they're spending, what they're investing in.
totally.
Investing in your business, really, talk about how it's important to invest in your business, why people should invest in their businesses,
Yeah.
how they move their businesses forward, but not, things that are the other end. So yeah, things that build awareness, educational posts. We've talked about this in H Club, a lot of different types of posts that you have, posts that have statistics, posts that build trust, posts that educate your audience.
Yep.
Personal stories. There's tons of different kinds of posts that you can put together, and in your newsletters as well. I mean, all of it.
Absolutely. And I like what you said as far as there's never really a good time. There's always crap happening.
Yeah.
As far as like investing in your business and just waiting for the right time to like, oh, when I'm going to invest, lady, there's always going to be something.
Oh
There's
yeah.
always going to be something, lady. So if you're having trouble writing, right? If that's like
Mhm.
your bottleneck that's keeping you from actually getting out there, hire someone like Annette to, work on your actual content. If you're having issues with sales, if you're having issues with marketing, if you're having issues with your website, just invest. Have somebody help you work on that area of your business so that it's not what's keeping you from getting out into the public.
Mhm.
We have these things that we're embarrassed about in our business, and those are the things that are actually keeping us from getting out there and expanding. So just taking that money, the money that we make, our money is supposed to be used to help us,
Mhm.
to sustain us. So if you're never using it to better yourself mentally, emotionally, financially, meaning business, what is it there for? Just to feed us? That's it, right? So love
And
all of
even small, yeah, even a small, like a smaller investment, if you don't want to hire somebody, even a smaller investment to get into a community
it.
where you have other people that can support you and push you and help you and answer questions for you, so you don't stay stuck where
Absolutely.
you are, is really key as well.
Absolutely. Key in H Club.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, Annette. So appreciate you and your insight. I'd love for you to share some closing thoughts to those entrepreneurs. We actually have quite a few. Annette was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, it's 8 because 8 o'clock in the morning in America." So she was a little worried. She's like, "Oh, no one's." There's actually quite a few people watching live. I got like as people are coming in, I'm like,
They're waking up in the morning. Good
"Wow,
morning. I feel like
we're
good morning, Vietnam.
we're streamed across 5 different platforms. So, yeah, there's people watching right now. So
Yay.
closing thought. Closing thought.
Closing thoughts is just do it. Like the Nike commercial, just do it. Just be out there, be consistent. Don't be afraid. It's only content.
Yeah.
It's only content. Get it out there. People, I think, look at it from the other point of view. If you don't put the message out there, there's somebody that needs to hear your message. And if you don't put that message out there, that person that needs to hear what you have to say is not going to hear it.
Totally.
And you're doing them a disservice by not stepping up and putting your messages out there.
Yeah. Lord, it was 5:30, girl. I say what? Oh my God. All right, ladies, if you're resonating with Annette and all of the goodness that she shared, make sure you follow her. What's your website?
It's rightwizards.com.
So right there, rightwizards.com. I love it. And then tell us a little bit about who exactly do you help? Who should be reaching out to you for this?
So my ideal dream clients are female architects and interior designers and women in the construction industry.
Beautiful.
Because that's what I love.
I love it. I love it. Well, this has been great. For those of you listening live, thank you for being here. For those of you listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. Either way, if you made it to this part, make sure you follow, you like, and you share in order to help us get this message out there, ladies. All right. Once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation Global. We continue to uplift each other every step of the way. And if you resonated with Annette Mashi, make sure that you check out rightwizards.com. We have Laura. Thank you for the reminder that I'm here to share my story. Yes, Laura. Absolutely. Laura's got stories. Laura's got kids, so she's got stories. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, ladies, do something awesome today.